People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, on Sunday, it is Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Arsenal versus Villa. Villa versus Arsenal. Whatever way you want to put it. You know, the games are coming thick and fast. We're back in Premier League action. Simply put, we need to win. We need to put a winning run together. You know, it was nice to obviously beat Manchester United, but it's been and gone. It was nice to beat them because obviously prior to that game, we had 2 defeats. Now it's about continuing the winning run, continuing building momentum, getting points on the board. I know the Europa League has nothing to do with the league, but we won on Thursday. Every little bit helps the momentum collectively as a squad. You know, every win can do that, and we're coming into a difficult period now. You know, we've still got to play Europa. Off the top of my head, we all know we've got Spurs, Wolves to come. You know, I'm sure there's a bag of other tough teams. Let me not do you lot a disservice and actually look at our fixture list, people. Arsenal fixtures. I should have been prepared. Apologies, but I can do you one better. We've got Aston Villa, who are in form. Again, no disrespect to Leeds, but next week we've got Leeds. You know, it's going to be a tough trip to Ellen Road. You saw what they did against City. You know, we've got Wolves at home. You know, excluding the Europa League, we've got Aston Villa, Leeds, Wolves, Spurs, Burnley, Southampton, Everton. You know, Man City in the cup, but it's irrelevant. Chelsea on Boxing Day, the 28th, a return to Brighton away, a ground we've been losing. We lost that. So we've got a tough end to the year. The games are coming thick and fast. You've got a resurgent Everton team under Carlo Ancelotti. We've got to go to Brighton where we lost. We've got Chelsea on Boxing Day. We've got to play Southampton. We've got to play Burnley. We've got a North London derby. We've got Wolves. We've got Leeds. These are tough fixtures. And this tough run of fixtures starts, well, it started last week against United, but it starts now against Villa. It's down to every player to stand up and be counted, because there's 38 games. This period now that we're facing, we need to come out of it in with a realistic chance of top 4. And I'm not talking necessarily mathematically, of course that matters, but the way we're playing, we're looking like contenders that we can fight for the top 4. You know, right now I can't say that's the case. We need to show, in terms of the performance, show statistically that we can get out of this tough period, the turn of next year, or the start of next year, better yet, in with a decent chance. You know, I think we've got our first game of the seasons at the Hawthorns away from home. You know, we need to be going into that game with a realistic chance. Of course there's going to be bumps in the road. Do you expect me to say we're going to beat Chelsea, Spurs, Villa, Wolves, Southampton, Leeds? It's naive to think we're going to win all those 6 games, but there needs to be a target points tally in mind that these players have to go with. You know, we're coming against an Aston Villa side that's in good form. Yeah, they sit 8th, we sit 9th. We're level on points. Goal difference makes the difference in that regards. But they've had a decent start to the season. Obviously, it was a crazy game, but whatever way you say, they put 7 in against Liverpool. They put Liverpool to the sword and won 7-2. I could be wrong, but haven't they beat Manchester United this season? I could be wrong on that. They've definitely beat Leicester this season. So they've beat some big teams, got some big points on the board. They beat Leeds as well. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Or did they lose to Leeds? I could be wrong on that. They might have even lost to Leeds. I could be wrong on that. But either way, you know, definitely in terms of Leicester and Liverpool, they beat those 2 teams. So they've got pedigree. They know how to play big games. They've obviously got good players playing well individually. Like, there's more players than I'm about to say, but I think McGinn's picked up where he left off last season. Jack Grealish is playing amazing and is a danger man as a player I'd love at Arsenal, and someone I don't need to tell you, but is someone that if they're going to win, he needs to have a good game, or he needs to be at it. He can take set pieces, he can draw fouls. Greenwood's a lovely footballer. You know, you've even got Ross Barkley in a bit of a resurgent form, and he might play against us. You know, you've got Ollie Watkins, who can score goals, and he is an Arsenal fan. I'm sure he wants to score against Arsenal, playing at the Emirates if he does play. Obviously, in their last game against Southampton, they were poor. You know, for 2 of the, well, Ings' goal was a banger, but 2 of them free kicks, I'm seeing Tyrell Wings, 6 foot plus, not jumping. You know, they were poor, but they've had a good start to the season. I'm not too sure about now, but domestically, you know, they've been decent in terms of goals conceded. Us and Villa at a point had the best defence. I think it's us now. So yeah, you know, you've got Barkley if he wants to play for England. He's not been named in the side. You need to keep playing well. Grealish is in a great run of form. You've got Emi Martinez, who, you know, if you're playing your old team, you want to stick 2 fingers up at Arteta and say, yeah, listen, you think Leno was your number 1? You should have kept me, sort of thing, and make people ask questions. Obviously with Leno's mistake in the week. So it is what it is. Interestingly for Martinez though, Martinez has conceded more goals from outside the box than any other goalkeeper this season. So shoot, you might have half a chance. For me, it's a big test. You know, Villa are in a good bit of form. You know, we lost last season at their place. Can you go and get 3 points? Do not disrespect them. Can you go and get 3 points? You know, can we play in a convincing fashion, not just get 3 points, but actually shoot, have target, have opportunities. You know, if they come to the Emirates, which I think they will go forward, but you can imagine 11 men behind the ball, low blocks, rigid sort of team shape. Can we cut them open? Can we stop the 5-yard unnecessary 5-yard passes? Can we skip people out? You know, if I'm a centre half, if I'm Luis, do I need to pass it to Mustafi for it to get to Bellerin, or can I play it straight away? Or can I skip Bellerin out, play it to the winger, wait for Bellerin on the overlap? I want to see a lot more in terms of shooting and all of these sort of things, which I saw a bit of it against Man United. Definitely the most shots I've seen us have in recent years, but we still had to rely on the penalty. I'm not watering it down. I'm just saying that's one thing I want to see a bit more. Obviously, I want a clean sheet. I want to win in a convincing way, but fundamentally, I want 3 points because we need to keep this winning run together. We won against against United. Apologies. Would have loved for it to be Man City. We won in midweek. Let's put a winning run together in all competitions and get that momentum, because like I said, we're going into a tough period now. Everybody's got to stand up to be counted whenever you're utilised, whether you're going to play cup games, whether you're playing 10 minutes in the Prem or 90, the whole squad is going to be needed. You know, you're only as strong as your weakest member in the side, so the weakest man mentally, not that I know who it is or could say who it is, needs to buck up their ideas and fix up. We know what we need to do. We're coming against a team that is very decent, you know, very good technically, very good spirit, you know, working very hard for their gaffer, but can be got at, people, really can be got at. And obviously, you know, they've shipped 7 goals in their last 2 games. They've lost back-to-back against Leeds and Southampton. Now, in true Arsenal fan fashion, you're probably listening to me saying that and say, DG, you know damn well these statistics don't mean anything, because they're going to turn into Barcelona. They're going to turn into the Villa side that scored 7 against Liverpool. A lot of that is true, but what does that mean? There's a fragile defence of late. They can be got at, have opportunities, take chances. You know, like us, we've made an improvement, but they seem to be very dodgy from aerial situations, from dead ball situations, from set pieces. Can we exploit that? With all due respect, you know, people like Tyrone Mings, I don't think they're the best centre-half in the world. I think they're quite lucky to be in that position. You know, he's probably going to hear this and play well. Can we get at these individuals? You know, can we get at them? Ask questions, you know, start. And for me, I want to see us start strongly. Start strongly. Don't make it harder than it has to be. So let's see what they're on, people. Like I said, it's eighth place versus 9th. You know, we need to do what we can if we want to win this sort of game, people. In relation to the lineup, I guess there isn't much to speak about other than the lineup, people. In fact, let's not get into that. Let's see if there's any statistics, man. You know, Google always brings up some statistics. Let me go to the timeline. Yeah, there is. Arsenal have won their last 3 home league games against Aston Villa by an aggregate score of 12-2. Remember last season we needed Pepe, forgive me if I'm wrong, to turn it around for us. And I remember Bukayo Saka was substituting and I was quite vexed if I remember correctly. So we struggled at home to beat them. We lost away from home. We need to, listen, try and do the double. Fix up. Go and watch. Listen, Arteta shouldn't have to do it. He's probably doing it. I want all of these individual players to go watch 180 minutes of football last season and go and see what Aston Villa are about. Obviously, there's change, but go and see where you went wrong last season. Because if I'm a footballer, that's what I'm doing. You know, I don't want to let people down. There's competition for places now, especially in attacking areas. It's time for everybody to stand up to be counted. Everybody speaks about wanting top 4 and the manager this and the manager that. I need to see that same effort of talking. I need to see it on the football field, people. So we'll see what's happened. Like we said, we've won our last 3 home games against them, but we did struggle in the last game and we did struggle away from home and was defeated. So we might have got an aggregate scoreline of 12-2. However, if you're Aston Villa, there's a bit of confidence there because only Manchester United and City with 4 apiece and Chelsea with 5 wins have won more Premier League away games at the Emirates than Aston Villa with 3. So with all due respect, if you can see Chelsea, Man City, Man United, you know, ahead of you for the money they spent and the stature of the 2 clubs, with all 3 clubs in comparison to Villa, with all due respect. I know they've got Champions League unlike us, but that's a good statistic to have and be 4th placing. So they should believe they can get something out of us. And if I'm Aston Villa, I'm saying, I'm not being funny, mate, but I'd say if I'm the manager or the players, I'd say, honestly, I think this Arsenal team's overrated. They're a bunch of overpaid pussios. That's what I would say. I would say they were lucky at the Emirates. We smacked them in at our place. We smacked them in again. Let's go and put pressure. Let's go and put pressure. I would actually say, how many times has that Arsenal team we're going to play on Sunday look convincing? Fair play, they did their thing against United. And yeah, they beat Fulham, but they should be expected to beat Fulham. We were shaky against West Ham. We lost to Leicester, who they also beat. You know, if you can beat Leicester, you can beat Arsenal. These are the things I'd be saying. So you should, you know, form and how they're playing, we've got to regard it. But at the same time, you know, probably going to see an uptake in performance. So our boys need to relish it. I know it was a strong team against Mulder and whatnot, but certain things I saw in the Mulder game was a sort of complacency and arrogance that we would just turn up and win. Don't want to see that on Sunday. I always say, don't make it harder than it has to be. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Don't do this little thing where, you know, you're having a bag of chances, a bag of possession, you're not really exploiting it. Villa have one opportunity on the counter-attack and they go and score. As an Arsenal fan, whatever your age is, you know that story, you know. Make sure that's not the case. Aston Villa are looking to win consecutive league games against Arsenal for the first time since May/December 98. Both of those victories came at Villa Park, people. So again, it's not at Villa Park, but they're looking to create history. Don't allow them to. It's as simple as that. Aston Villa's 1-0 win against Arsenal at Villa Park in July ended a run of 7 straight defeats against Arsenal in all competitions, in which across the board they conceded 23 goals. Obviously, I remember the FA Cup final. Arsenal lost 1-0 against Leicester in their last home league game, their first home league defeat of 2020. They last lost back-to-back league games at the Emirates in December 2019, which was a run of 3 games, while they last failed to score in consecutive games at home since February 2016. I'm sorry, apologies, not since. The last time we failed to score in consecutive games was in February 2016. So yeah, we've lost our first game at the Emirates in 2020. Don't lose your second game against Aston Villa in 2020. It's as simple as that. Don't allow them to record back-to-back consecutive victories against us. You know, learn the mistakes you should learn last season, because, you know, we were lucky to get 3 points, really and truly. We dropped 3 stupid points at Villa Park. Learn your lessons. Only time will tell when the game kicks off, if we have. Aston Villa are the only side yet to concede away from home in the Premier League this season, while they're the only side not to keep a clean sheet. What? Aston Villa are the only side yet to concede away from home in the Premier League this season, while they are the only side not to keep a clean sheet on the road in the competition last season. Their away games have seen fewer goals scored than any other Premier League side this season, with 4, while their home games have seen the most goals in the competition so far. Obviously, a bulk of that was probably helped with the Aston Villa-Liverpool game. So again, they haven't conceded away from home. They're difficult away from home. So again, they're going to be a tough unit. You know, people like Martinez are going to relish it. He's probably going to give the lowdown if he can, if they ain't. Not that Villa need it, because they've got analytical teams and whatnot, and the manager's done his own thing. But we know what to expect. We're going to have a keeper that's going to want to be highlighted on Match of the Day after his performance against his former team. We've got a team that's beaten some credible clubs this season and played quite well. They're not an easy game. It's 8th versus 9th. We need to be at our best. And with that being said, I guess the last thing would be the lineup. Admittedly, I would like to go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, but for this game, I'm going 3-4-3, people. You know, I think we need to and consider the threats. Obviously, with that, I want us, it doesn't matter what formation, I want us to be on the front foot, I want us to dominate play. But for me, my lineup would be 3-4-3. In relation to who plays, Leno is in goal, and I want to see a reaction from Leno. He's made a couple of mistakes this season, the latest being in the league. I mean, in the Europa League. It's gone, it's happened. I'm not going to hold it against him, but what I would like to see is a reaction, you know. You're a villain, people have you as a villain on a Thursday. You'll be a hero on Sunday if you make bare saves and do your job. So, Leno gets the nod in goal for me. Centre-halves, you know, the first one I have to say, Gabriel picks himself. My player of the month for October, without a doubt. Picks himself, people. You know, do I need to tell you why Gabriel needs to play for Arsenal? I would bring in Rob Holding as well if fit. Holding's done his thing and doesn't deserve to lose his place until he plays poorly. I was thinking to go Tierney and bring in Maitland-Niles or maybe Saka within that position, but for me personally, I've gone Rob Holding, Gabriel, and I'm gonna go with David Luiz. Think he looked good in the week. He is fit now, so why not use him, really and truly. In the wing-back roles, Obviously, Kieran Tierney goes on the left. It's a Bellerin / Maitland-Niles thing on the right. Personally, I would like to go with Maitland-Niles, but Bellerin's had a good game against Manchester United. He deserves to play. So I'm going to go with Bellerin and Tierney, even though it is neck and neck. In midfield, Thomas Partey picks himself. We paid 45 million for my man, so we need to use him. I feel El Nene doesn't deserve to get dropped. That's my pivot. And I actually feel Xhaka will start this game. But I feel, you know, not that Xhaka didn't play poorly, in my opinion, on Thursday. But he didn't exactly do anything to strengthen his case to start ahead of those players in terms of an impact. I feel Ceballos' tracking and stuff was there, but he was underwhelming. So them midfielders could probably get a chance. I think El Nene probably won't start, to be fair with you, but I think both of those men deserve to keep their spots. And in a game like this, it's going to be a bit different, and I'm going to need to, not that Partey and El Nene weren't doing it, but it's less of a case of, you know, breaking down play and recycling it, and all of that stuff is needed because of the attacking threat, but we're going to need to see what both of you can offer on the ball. I know Partey can do it. I know El Nene is better on the ball than man given credit for, but I can probably expect it's going to be one of those games, and that's probably why I could see Xhaka coming in at the expense of El Nene or even Ceballos. I say that Partey could find himself on the bench because, you know, Xhaka and David Luiz are key members of Arteta's side, but against City, David Luiz was officially meant to be on the bench, but Holding got injured. Obviously, last game, Xhaka was dropped, so again, we don't know what Arteta is doing. I want to see us play convincingly. I want to see us have shots and create good opportunities, because that's the one thing I don't think. I want to see a bit more from Arteta's boys, and I want to see a bit more from Arteta with that regards, people. So I think that I would go with Partey now, and then I think we continue where we left off. And my front three, I don't think Willian should start, but he probably will. I would like to start Pepe. Not that in the same logic goes with Pepe. He's frustrated equally as well. I don't think Bukayo Saka should be on the bench. I think Saka is one of our best players, one of our best performing players, and deserves to play. So I've gone with a front three of Bukayo Saka on the right, which probably won't be a thing. Aubameyang on the left, obviously, and I've gone Lacazette through the middle. Now, ideally, you could also go, I would like to see, you know, Aubameyang through the middle, Saka move over to the left, Pepe on the right. That would be me. That's what I would like to see. But I do think Lacazette is going to start, and I don't think Lacazette was poor against Manchester United. Yeah, people might try and mock him for that miss that Lindelof got a touch on. And listen, you know, pressing, defensive work rate, big games, all of these things only go so far without scoring goals as a striker. But I think this is a game for Lacazette. You know, Lacazette loves the Emirates. I think Lacazette is going to score. I don't like Aubameyang out wide, but for this game, I'm going with it. So Aubameyang out wide, Lacazette through the middle, Saka, on the right-hand side. If I could, you know, I would love to have Saka, Pepe and Aubameyang through the middle. I do think El Nene is going to be benched, and Xhaka or Ceballos or even both might come in. But hopefully that pivot in midfield stays, because I think both of them deserve to stay. I think Holding deserves to start, as does clearly Gabriel. I'd bring David Luiz in ahead of Mustafi, in my opinion. I think David Luiz has had good periods. So that would be my lineup. So to recap, Leno in goal, Gabriel, Holding and David Luiz in a back three. Left back Tierney, right back Hector Bellerin. The African partnership, the two African kings in El Nene and Thomas Partey in midfield, the Ghanaian and Egyptian internationals. Love them both. Up front, you know, we've got Aubameyang, we've got Bukayo Saka, and we've got Lacazette through the middle. Would like to see Joe Willock on the bench at the very least. Don't think he deserves to start yet, but based on how he played in the Europa League, would like to see him integrated back into the matchday squad. I think he deserves that. On that note, though, that's all I've got to say in relation to the preview, so I'm not going to add anything more, people. I'm going to get out of here. On that note, it's always a pleasure, but I've got to keep it moving. DG, I'm out.